So we've got the Slot.it Ferrari. It's on the left hand side. Porsche 917 NSR on the right. Now, as you can see there, the wheelbase of the Ferrari, both the front axles are about the same length, but you can see the wheelbase of the Ferrari is slightly longer. Went to Pendle's website to see what their stats and specs were. The wheelbase of the 917 was 74, and the 512 was 72, which doesn't quite make sense, as you can see here. The wheelbase on the Ferrari is a bit longer. Okay. We'll do some more measurements just to compare the two. I'll start at the front of the 917. It's about 60. On the rear, we got there about 64. There's a touch less. There we go. That's 63.4. Now to measure the Ferrari. Put it straight on. In a little bit, as you can see there. And the rear, 61.4. We'll go for the front. .57, 57.6. Now on the website, it's listed the front and rear track as 61.5. So that's definitely not the case for the front, but the rear was that looked to be the correct on that one there. The weight, the 512 according to the site, 66 grams versus the 917 at 72 grams. I have weighed it. I've put a little bit of weight in this. I think it had about 73 grams with about 7 grams of weight. So that's 66 grams. Looks to be pretty much spot on. So the comparisons, just to sum it up quickly, it looks like there's a longer wheelbase on the Ferrari. However, the front track probably might be a touch wider on the 917, okay, but it also is a little bit heavier, 72 grams versus the 66 grams. I'll just give you a look at the car. Fitted air rims at the back, it's a lot of air rims to keep the inserts, and 0 grips on the front. So great looking car. One of my absolute favourites. Had to buy it as soon as it came out. As with most people, yeah, we just couldn't say no. So yeah, sensational looking car. I'll open up and I'll tell you what I've done. So the mods I've done. First mod I do, slotted braids are awful. It's like horsehair. So the first thing I did was to replace the braids, put some aftermarket slotted screws in, and they were, I've got the body, and before I do all that, I'll show you the pod. I was really happy with the motor pod and the chassis. I built a lot of NSR cars, and I spent a lot of time, hours even, just trying to file away and get the pod movement, the front and back rocking nicely. But with this, it took hardly any work at all. Let's get up closer. So you can see backwards and forwards, beautiful. What I actually didn't actually do much there. I just did it around here. Just cut into the chassis, or fold away the chassis a little bit there. That was probably the only bit that needed. And yeah, really happy with that. If you look, now it was tight at the front. I had to file away a fair bit at the top here, the top chassis, to get the body to float. Could probably do with a little bit more. I've got the body screws sort of tightish. Could file away a little bit more, but you can see there is a bit of body float there, front and back. All right, let's crack it open now. So these were about one turn off of being full. Long slotted screws. There they come. There they are. Put them to the side. And in the rear. Now the rear, I had problems fitting the air rims. They're a little bit wide and they were going to rub on the actual bodywork. So what I actually did, I couldn't put a spacer in there. So what I did, I put just a mount or a block on top of the motor. It was just a real quick tune, just to get the a bit of height, just to raise it, and yeah, so the tires wouldn't rub on the body, and it seemed to do the job. Now the rear screw. I done it before, but I had about half a turn off of this one. This is my favourite body screws, the Slot.it 8mm ones. It's not Slot.it, sorry, Slotting Plus. They're excellent. Nice and deep. There it is there, 8mm screw, Slotting Plus. So this is what I've done. So yeah, just a bit of blue tack. So it was just a quick tune, just to get the body to raise up, so it didn't rub. So that's it there. I'll start with the top. Like I said before, from the top, had to file away there. Now I have used the standard guide. This is the first time I've used a standard guide. I usually use the deep guides on all my cars. But this is the first time I've gone without it, and it didn't make too much difference to me. I think you know, normal guides versus deep guides. You know, the deep guides are not going to make you go any faster. It's just going to keep you in a little bit. So if you are sort of new or a little bit sort of taily, you know, like deep guides are pretty good, but yeah, they're not going to make you go any faster. Replace the braid, the screws in, the grub screws holding the braid in. They were M2 3mm. I don't really like them, they're too small. So I got the 6mm ones there, put them in. They do stand out a little bit, but I like them. You can see them, so it's good. They're going a bit deeper as well. So I like the M2 6mm there. Now with the, I'll go into the front tyres. Now with the front tyres, I went the zero grips. I did, on all my cars, I try and use the original tyres that come with it, but they just, you know, I had it on the Trua for about 20-30 minutes, just doing them and doing and doing, and it was just painful. It was going to take forever to turn them down enough. You wanted, for this car, to get them to fit nicely, you had to turn them down pretty low. I just decided I'm not going to spend all day on the tyre Trua for $6 or $7 for a pair. I used the zero grips, and they went on like that. Really low profile. Sort of, you know, if you look at it closely, it doesn't quite match the era correct. but this is a running car. I'm going to race this, so yeah, this is the way I went for. Now, with the problem was with the zero grips being the low profile, it actually affected the ride height on the front axle. They come with M2 3mm grub screws on the front, but when you adjust the ride height, they fall out. So I used the 6mm ones. So I got 6mm ones on the front for the braid, and then 6mm here for the front axle. To get the width out a little bit, I've put 1mm spacers in there as well. That's what I've done. And with the weight, this was, like I said, it was a real quick setup. So I've just put a bit of weight in there. It was about 7 grams of weight. As I said, the car weighs 66 standard, and mine came to around 73. I did run on a magnet braid track. These motors do have a bit of downforce in them. The car did run really well. It could have done with a fraction more weight, but I was happy with the results and didn't want to sort of play too much with it. If you're running a non-magnet braid track, I would say you could go a bit more weight. I haven't played, but you could maybe do a bit down the sides, maybe a little bit more in the pod. It all comes down to you and your personal preference. With the air rims, all I did was just added just in here, just to get it away from the pinion, just a real small little spacer. But I think from memory it was actually the other side which seemed to be had more issues with the potential of the body rubbing. I've got nothing there, but yeah, once I said I've made this this motor mount here. You can see it there. Only a quick job just to get the body up. You know, maybe an option could be to put it in here. Anyway, this is my first video, so I think I've tried to cover everything. Yeah, like I said, zero grips, got the air rims on the back, and bit of weight in the middle, and it goes really well. Comparing it to a few of my other NSR classic cars, not the Can-Ams, but the you know, like the GT40 and the P68. This one had a bit of an advantage on them, so I was really happy with it. You know, looking against the 917, has got the longer wheelbase, probably not quite as wide, but you know, this thing runs really well. I'm happy with it. Okay, thank you.